and welcome everyone. So today it'll be myself presenting. We'll be going through some different products in the Microsoft Solution Stack, both part of the Office stack and the Dynamics stack. We'll be presenting, with me presenting will be Sandeep Chaudhury, who's one of our Chief Solution Architects, and Joe Gulino, who's our Director of Corporate Sales. So with that, we'll get into the tools available and the solutions available through the Office 365 stack at Microsoft. Some of those solutions are like Planner and SharePoint, things that's been around for a while in the Microsoft project area and Excel, and then the newer things like Teams and Planner, as I mentioned first. So to start with, and hopefully during this mashup, we'll be having some back and forth. We've got Sandeep and Joe on to provide color that I'm not able to, and we just really want to have an interactive discussion with you. So as we go through this, hopefully Joe and Sandeep will chime in and give any of their unique perspectives. So Microsoft Planner, what is it? It's really a tool to quickly get tasks organized, assigned out, and deadlines sent. It's all web-based. It flows into the user through the Microsoft Cloud. It's really a simple tool. Anybody can get up and running on it within minutes, and it allows you to set those deadlines that you need to really drive your project completion in a very easy way. It integrates with Outlook and provides access across all of your organization. One of the tools that's really been around for a long time is Microsoft SharePoint. It was really a great document management system when it came out, and it's continued to be enhanced by Microsoft. It provides a great value as both a repository for data, but also as a place to define and utilize workflows and to push those workflows out into your organization. But really, it's from its core, it's an information sharing platform and not so much just a project planning tool. But through its extensions, it's able to really serve a lot of needs inside a project-driven industry. So that's one of the reasons why we're bringing it to the forefront.
And Robbie, this is Joe. I think part of the thing that we should share is the fact that all these tools are very collaborative, right? So even though we're talking about them individually, a lot of them work together, right? So as we start to talk about our the ERP applications and the CRM applications, SharePoint is a good example of something that continues to be a collaborative tool that works with those tools as well.
Yeah, and as you look at the Microsoft stack, what you're finding is these individual tools are really a user interface to the back-end systems that allow information to be shared through your workers. And so SharePoint powers many of the document management systems behind the other tools. Both Planner and MS Project can integrate into SharePoint and publish things to SharePoint, and then Microsoft Teams is very integrated into the SharePoint platform for its document and version management system. So great, thank you, Joe. So Microsoft Project, it's been the project collaboration tool that's really been around for a long time. Most project managers are familiar with Microsoft Project, and Microsoft brought Project up to the online toolkit and made it part of Office 365 in the last couple of years to really allow those project plans that were living on desktops of your project manager and maybe some of your senior consultants to be able to be driven and shared with the whole organization and your clients through Project Online. It integrates again throughout the solution stack. You can publish projects to SharePoint. You can integrate them into to Microsoft Teams that we'll talk about next. And it's really become over the years, a core requirement of project managers to be able to utilize Project to run the task and the deadlines inside of the larger projects going on.
Well, and again, this is a good example of you hear about project functionality in Dynamics 365 across that solution set, but that doesn't mean that you people that are not using Microsoft Project to kind of do that front end work, to build those initial project plans and then be able to publish those to things like Dynamics 365 for operations or Dynamics 365 for PSA. So yeah, it's about the tool that makes best sense for that particular task.
Yeah, absolutely, and all these tools work very well together. You have project plans being built out, WBS is built that are, you know, many hundreds of lines, and then you publish those out to the systems that, you know, track your time, track your expenses, and then be able to report them back into project for the running of your of those tasks. And then the next one, Microsoft Teams. It's one of the newer solutions to the market, and it's becoming extremely important as Office 365 evolves. Not only as Microsoft recently announced that Skype for Business will be integrated into Teams, but there's many other competitors out in the market that do some of these tasks, but not in a collaborative fashion as Teams does with all the tools that are around it. It not only allows you to manage conversations amongst dispersed teams that may never physically sit in the same office, but it allows you to drive access to things like your shared OneNotes, your PowerPoint document templates, be able to extend Planner and Project through a collaborative means, and be able to have discussions around those, and then publish files that are easily extendable. It extends out across the solution stack and even extends to non-Microsoft communications methods. So you can think of Teams as the product that's progressing as the central collaboration tool for the workforce that's dispersed across the globe. And then, you know, we wouldn't be honest if we didn't bring Microsoft Excel into the conversation. Excel's been around for a really long time. It continues to be an important part of almost everyone's workday. And with some of the newer tools that's been added to Excel through Office 365 collaboration, the ability to share Excel workbooks and work on those Excel workbooks at the same time as someone else is working on them, being able to pull data out of your project online, of your Dynamics 365, and really be able to use it inside of Excel, which is a tool that many people know continues to be vitally important. I can't think of a client we've worked with in the last 20 years that didn't use Excel for some portion of their business, and with some of the more structured areas of Excel in the last, you know, few years, you really see Excel continuing to be that key tool for the end user.
And Excel will always have a place in these types of businesses, right? So really, you know, we're trying to get firms to think about moving away from using Excel to build projects and staff projects and keep track of their staff and their staff's capabilities, and putting the right people on the right projects, and really move Excel more to what it's built for, which is to analyze data and report data, right? So you know, with these integrations that Robbie talked about, it's seamless to be able to pull data down from your ERP or your CRM application and be able to analyze that data and report on it in a very user-friendly fashion.
Absolutely. Thanks, Joe. So with that, we'll move on past the Office set of tools into the Dynamics set of tools and the Dynamics 365 evolution. To start with, we can't leave out Dynamics SL. Dynamics SL is really the genesis of the project-driven firms that are now part of Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations and Dynamics 365 Business Edition. SL has been around for many years, continues to be a really strong tool for many types of project-driven industries. It will continue to evolve in the Microsoft ecosystem. It's really for those companies that are okay with an on-premise and like the on-premise solution of SL. It continues to be very strong. But Microsoft's building out, in the next slide, Bill, is building out the
Robbie,
Dynamics.
before we jump to the other slides, I mean, I think it's important to mention that, you know, SL is really considered a legacy application, and SBS Group has years of experience with Dynamics SL and how to effectively use it to help manage and grow professional services firms, and a good number of those 1,200 customers that we have are actually SL customers, and you know, there are you know, plans in place for those companies that want to do it is to move up to some of these other tools, and I think transitioning to that now is good, but really we can't forget the fact that there are a lot of customers on SL. They continue to need help with how to continue to grow their SL environment as well as transition to some of these newer technologies.
Absolutely. And one of the natural transitions and one of the newer applications is Dynamics Nav, or as it's been called for a year or so now, Dynamics 365 Business Edition. In the Dynamics 365 Business Edition, the SBS Group, through our Plumline division, has developed a Progressus add-on, a Progressus solution that really adds all the project functionality into Dynamics Nav, and that solution is fully cloud-based, fully modern interface through HTML5 and accessible through any modern browser. We add in the project budgeting, the project resource management, all the time and expense entry and approval that's needed, project invoicing, all of the rich analytics that's expected is all available through the Progressus solution. Some of the real benefits of the modern application is the quick deployment of the solution into a cloud environment, get you up and running very fast, and be able to be utilized by your team through modern connections in a very quick way. There's not the long learning curve that there used to be, so people really enjoy the modern interface of these solutions.
And I think what's important here, one of the important points here is that this is your deployment option is one of the things that you can choose, right? So if you're not ready to move to the cloud, although we believe that that's the right place to be, you know, if you're really focused on having an on-premise environment, or maybe there's some industry reasons why you need to be on-premise, this is a great solution for you, right? And really, depending on your size and the functional needs, this could be a really good solution.
Yeah, but we don't want to miss that it's fully integrated to Office 365. So the tools we talked about previously, many of those are already integrated to the Dynamics 365 Business Edition platform, and will continue to be enhanced and more tightly integrated over the months and years to come. And then for our enterprise accounts, the larger industries, we have our Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation that's extended through our AXIO for Professional Services solution. It's an end-to-end solution for project-based industries. It's multi-entity, multi-currency, what we like to call, or I like to call, the multis. If you're looking at a multi-taxation or even multi-language requirements, then this solution really fits well for you. It's all driven by the Azure cloud, and it's primarily deployed through the Azure cloud. You can deploy this as an on-premise solution now, which was announced earlier this year. It handles complex revenue recognition and regulatory compliances right out of the box, and we do our implementations in such a way that we're able to reduce the traditional AX, which is the genesis of this application, by more than 50%. So we templated a lot of the configurations that were needed, and really allow us to deploy a solution that's, a tier 1 ERP and time frame that used to be associated with a lower mid-market solution.
So Robbie, Sandeep here, I would like to chime in here.
Yep. Thanks, Sandeep.
So Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations is obviously the flagship ERP from Microsoft, which is targeted mainly for the mid to large level enterprise organizations. And this really provides the strong foundational functional capabilities for industries of various types. You think of supply chain, professional services, manufacturing, retail, and whatnot, right? So on top of that, what value do we bring as a partner? So as AXIO for Professional Services is a solution from SBS Group, which brings in all the enhancements and the added functionalities and features, some of which you see on the screen here. We have built end-to-end contract lifecycle management feature on top of what we have in the standard system. So you think of managing different types of contracts ranging from simple time and material contract or a cost plus contract or even a fixed price or subscription type contract. We have all the enhancements and the modules in place, which helps you easily set up and structure those contracts and manage them throughout the life cycle. That includes contract setup, contract billing, contractual adjustments, the billing and revenue true-up, revenue recognition, and throughout the life cycle, whatever you need to do within the contract. Not only that, we bring in several add-on features such as integrating with external payroll software such as ADP, and we're working with other vendors as well. So those are on the additional features. The other key value that we bring on the table is the implementation accelerators, right? So based on our all these years of experience, we have created several predefined setup, predefined business processes and the data packages, which really helps you jumpstart your implementation and helps you consume and get going from day one of your implementation process.
Thank you, Sandeep.
Yeah. And just a little bit of a commercial for SBS Group is, we've been very successful with this product. We are probably one of the top partners from a net new customer perspective for Dynamics 365 for finance and operations. We have several customers live on this system, as well as several that are in the midst of their implementation.
Okay. So you may be asking, where did the two solutions from SBS Group fit? Where does AXIO fit, and where does Progressus fit? AXIO is really for that 250 employee up organization, the larger, large, mid-sized to large enterprise firms that need project accounting and really need a solution to handle the multi-entity, multinational type corporations. Progressus is geared towards the small to medium-sized firms, really less than 250 employees, with a sweet spot between about 20 and 250. It's built on the Dynamics 365 Business Edition solution, and again, it's for those project accounting-based businesses.
Yeah, and I think here also, level of complexity, right? So if you're a professional services firm that kind of has a much more complex billing and revenue recognition need or contract management need, you may want to kind of look at the AXIO product and the Dynamics 365 for finance and operations product versus a Progressus, although Progressus does have some really deep functionality as well.
And if you're really looking for a solution that's able to be deployed, very quickly on both of the solutions, both in the enterprise and in the business edition or mid-market solution, we're able to deploy these solutions in a much less complex method and a much quicker time to value. So then moving on to the last of the solutions from the Microsoft stack, we have to talk about some of the newer entries. We have project service automation, field service automation, and then really the sales, marketing, and customer service, or the customer engagement stuff. These are the applications built on what used to be the CRM code base. Now it's the Dynamics 365 sales and marketing code base that's being extended to other functionality. So the PSA solution, Dynamics 365 PSA, probably one of the questions I get the most from prospects and customers is, where does PSA fit compared to your AXIO or the enterprise ERP solutions? And really, they coexist in a great way. The PSA solution is really, it's about that front end of the cycle when you're first engaging with the customer, when you need to sell a solution or you need to initiate the solution with the customer. It's great at the project planning, the resource scheduling. It's got a lot of deep functionality around the analytics of your resources and the time that you've got to your resources, and some great integration to Outlook that's not available in any of the other solutions. But it doesn't have the back-end accounting processes. There's no complex invoicing. There's no invoicing. You do that with an integration to the common data services and one of the other applications. So if you think about the quote to cash type of scenario, then they're the quote to delivery scenarios. The PSA solution's that front end and the management of the resources. And then for the field service side of the equation, go ahead.
Even before you jump to that, Robbie, I mean, I agree with you that this is a topic that comes up, you know, not only from customers, but even from people at Microsoft. Like when do we use PSA versus when do we use AXIO or Progressus? And I think, you know, you made some really good and valid points. And the other thing is there are companies that are out there that are perfectly fine with the existing ERP system or legacy ERP system that they have. They're just looking to meet the needs of the project scheduling and resource scheduling and being able to do time and expense capture and then push that to the ERP. And that's another reason why this PSA application is out there, because it is really about those front-end processes. If you get into situations where you're looking to replace that whole revenue recognition and billing engine, then you got to look at one of those other projects, and whether using this for the front end and using that, you know, an AXIO or a Progressus for the back end, that's something that you have to determine where the functionality best suits your needs.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, they really are a great coexistence, and as the Microsoft continues to enhance it, I expect that we'll see a lot more people using both solutions. So moving on, our field service automation solution, again, it's built on the CRM code base, so you can think of it as a very front-end customer-facing solution, or in this situation, the people that are out in the field day-to-day interfacing with your customers. It's got a great scheduling optimization solution, really the ability to go out and handle the scheduling for multiple people in the field, driving from place to place and doing service work for the customers. It allows for that remote connectivity, the mobile connectivity in a way that's superior to most of the other applications, and really that customer communications engine, the ability to interface with your customers through the solution is great in the field service or FSA solution stack. It integrates the same scheduling engine that's used in the PSA solution is available to the field service and vice versa. So it's very integrated solution. And by being built on the CRM code base, it's a very quick time to value implementation.
Well, and I think, you know, if you think about the difference between field service and professional services, field service is really more about, you know, having a team of people out in the field that work on smaller not even projects, like work orders, right? And a big differentiator is, you know, we have, you know, the concept of dispatching those teams on a as needed basis, and some of those are, you know, predetermined work orders, and some come in the middle of the day, and it's a way to, you know, effectively reroute people and keep track of them from a dispatch perspective. And then another differentiator is the integration to inventory, right? So a lot of times from a field service organization, they have trunk stock that they need to keep within you know, the actual trucks, and you know, this product manages not only those field people and the time that they spend on the work orders, but it also manages that inventory that they carry with them and use on those particular work orders.
Great. Thank you, Joe. And then to kind of round out how we go to market, if you think about the sales and relationship or customer service relationship management of professional services firms, the Dynamics 365 customer engagement solution is really about the selling and getting your products to market, or getting your products into your customers' hands. You talk about the sales automation, the marketing automation to get the word out, and really that relationship management of your customer, making sure that you're touching your customers and reminding them of the services that you have to offer. It's really the solution to handle that. It integrates through the common data services, which we'll be having a follow-up webinar on, to the ERP solutions, to all of the other solutions we talked about. It integrates, of course, with Office and available through a cloud and on-premise deployment as well. Through our Sales Connect 365 and our Sales Expedite solution, we have enhanced the Dynamics 365 sales to be able to be more intelligent, be able to drive actionable interfaces with your clients. It's a solution that almost every company needs because every company wants to increase revenue and increase profits. It's a solution that allows you to go out, interface with your customers, and hopefully drive those sales that were stagnant and to grow the relationships and make them stronger. So,
yeah,
and
just to add on here on the sales side, Robbie, I mean, this product is an industry standard product. I mean, this is one of the premier products in the industry, I should say. Companies from very large to very small use this product, and Microsoft continues to enhance this. This is one of their flagship applications. With their purchase of LinkedIn, we're really starting to see those two applications come together. Specifically in this tool, there's a new product called Relationship Sales that integrates Sales Navigator. So all your relationships that you have with your customers that are in LinkedIn completely integrate to the dynamic sales application. And as you know, in a professional services firm, it's all about the people, right? So not just the people in your organization, but the people that you work for and you work with, and to be able to keep track of those communications and collaborations and touches is very important, and that's what this product does for you.
Yep, absolutely. In our Sales Expedite solution, we say we can, we have recognized that many people want to get up and running quickly on a customer engagement solution stack like the Dynamics 365 Sales, and we've developed a Sales Expedite solution that allows us to spend 2 hours with your maybe sales manager or sales team, and then deploy a solution within 2 days after that. So we say 2 hours in 2 days, and we can have you up and running on this Dynamics 365 Sales. So we need to round out and talk about the last product that Microsoft's announced that's really touches a lot of important things in the Dynamics 365 project services or project-based industries, and that's the talent solution. In the talent environment or in the talent solution, it's all about attracting and retaining the people that are delivering the services for project industries. You go out and you sell a new job and you realize, oh, I don't have enough resources to execute on this. So you need to go out and recruit. You need to hire and onboard those employees. Well, that's what talent allows you to do. It allows you to both source the employees through the integration with LinkedIn and other recruiting platforms. It allows you to test the knowledge of those individuals, and then if you decide and interview those people and keep track of all the interviewing notes, and then to be able to bring them on board in a very modern and easy way that the candidates are expecting.
Well, and I know when we first went through this deck and we saw that this talent slide was in here, I think the first reaction was, what does this have to do with professional services firms? And my comment was, professional services firms are all about the people, and hiring, attracting, interviewing, and hiring, and then maintaining those relationships with those people is probably one of the most important things for a professional services firm. So again, as Microsoft builds out its business applications, they continue to bring things of value to a professional services firm like Talent.
Absolutely, and I'm sure I stole some of that thunder because Joe kind of jogged my memory on why we need to talk about it just a little while ago. So thanks, Joe. So with that, we've really talked about all the different Microsoft solutions, all the different things in market for project-based industries and project-based companies. It's really there's a lot there, from the Office 365 solution stack to the Dynamics 365 solution, and how they interact with each other and how these companies